Hey, welcome back to the Too Fast channel. In today's tabletop review, we're going to be taking a look at a active subwoofer made by Boss. This is part of their Boss Elite line. This is model number BE10AE. Now, this normally retails for around $230. I've seen it for $210, $220. I just picked this up. I found this on eBay for $99. The seller is Car Toys. They're actually local to me. So I went ahead and purchased it, and I got a email from them stating something was wrong with the product listing. They offered me a $25 credit because the box was damaged. So that effectively dropped the price of this down to $75. This did arrive in its original box, sealed in another box, which was well packaged. And there is a small amount of external damage to the box, but irrelevant. So, great deal there. Unfortunately, there's no more of those. They sold out of them. They only had a few of them, and they're all gone. So, bummer deal if you're looking to pick up one of these. Anyway, so let's take a look at the subwoofer, and we'll talk about it and what comes with the package. It is it has a 10-inch front firing subwoofer. It has a 10-inch rear firing passive radiator, and it has a amplifier built into the side on the left side. The external measurements, the total measurements are 11.22 by 11.22 by 11.22. The RMS power rating for this is 300 watts. I doubt that's a 300 watt amp. The maximum output power is rated at 600, and I doubt that as well. It's also listed as a Class D amplifier. So the coloring, the best way to describe this is the front of this cabinet has it almost looks like carpet, but it doesn't feel like carpet. It almost feels like felt. And we have a black metal grill with gray trim and the Boss logo. If we spin this around to the left side, this is the front. We spin this around here, you can see the built-in amplifier. I'd say given the size of this amplifier, this is probably more like a 100-watt amplifier in real-world scenarios. I really doubt it's a 300-watt amplifier, let alone a 600-watt. It does have a 30-amp fuse in it. So here's your wiring connectors. Now it doesn't include any of the wiring here. This is a ground, remote turn on, and 12 volt. You've got a green power LED light, and you've got a red LED light, which indicates that there's a problem, a short, or something's not working correctly. That would come on. If everything's working correctly, the green light comes on. It has a built-in low-pass filter, selectable between 12 dB and 18 dB for the slope, and the crossover frequency is adjustable from 50 to 150. Now, I don't see a way to turn that off, so if you're planning on using this with a head unit that has a built-in crossover for your subwoofer, you'll probably have to turn off the crossover in your head unit, because I don't see a way to actually disable this. These little potentiometers use a little flat blade screwdriver or maybe a Phillips to adjust them, and they are recessed so you can't accidentally hit them with your finger. This next up here, this is a bass boost from 0 dB to 12 dB, and up here is your gain control from 6 volt to 0.2 volt. Phase you can switch the phase from 0 to 180 degrees with this button. This is an auto start button. This is used in conjunction with high level inputs. So if you're feeding high level inputs, those would be signals from speakers. You can configure this to automatically turn on when the high level input detects a signal. So you can turn that on or off. Low level inputs for RCAs, left and right. High level input, there's a plug for that, which is included right here. And a remote base level control, which this includes. Now, a lot of these subwoofers at this size don't come with a remote control to control the level of bass. The one I'm currently running in my car, I'll talk about that later, but the one I'm currently running doesn't have that function, so this is nice. All right, so that's the amplifier and the hookups. The back side looks identical to the front, so it's hard to tell which side's the front and which one's the rear. This is the passive radiator, um, and then the right side is blank. So if we roll this around and we flip it to the bottom, now this was surprising to me because I'd not read anything about this or heard anything about this. So you've got some little hard plastic feet here, which is great, and you've got what appears to be Velcro. Well, it is Velcro. At first glance, it appeared to be Velcro, but you can peel it away, and you can see that it is Velcro. And they've got this is the fuzzy side of the Velcro. That's the only way for me to describe it. And this is the gripper side of the Velcro. And the gripper side is stapled to the bottom. So if you're going to put this in your trunk, I don't think you really need to use this. You can pull this off and set this in your trunk, and this should grip onto your carpet. The only unknown at this point is these little feet are elevate this cabinet, and I don't know if you've got plush carpeting in your trunk, this Velcro will probably grip it, but these feet may get in the way. I'm sure there's a way to remove these, but I don't know at this point. I haven't played around with it, but that could be a problem for my installation if I plan on using the Velcro. So that's the bottom. So and there's nothing on the top. There's no logos on the top or anything else like that. So that's pretty much what this looks like, and it is completely square. These types of amplified subwoofer systems, well, first off, doing my own research, there's not a lot of these on the market. There's very few in this design. It seems most manufacturers are going to kind of an oval flat subwoofer, amplified subwoofer that you could fit underneath your seat, and they're going away with this square boxy type of design. So these are being discontinued. The one I have in my car is made by Blaupunk. JBL makes one, if they still make it. Nakamichi has one that's a little bit bigger than this. And then there's this one. And there's a couple other ones that are a bit larger than this. But for my purposes, this is about as large as I can really go, which is 11.22 squared. Anything bigger than that, I'm going to have fitment issues in my Volkswagen EOS. And I'll detail that in another video when I go to install this. This is just the tabletop review. So moving on from that, what else is included in the box? Well, this is everything that's included in the box. So we've got the high-level signal input cables, and it appears that it comes with, let's see, 4 small little L brackets. Now they don't show this in the installation manual. I'm assuming that with 4 of these, you could place, let's say you're mounting this underneath your parcel shelf. You could mount a couple of these L brackets like this and screw it to your parcel shelf. Or if you were mounting this to the floor of your trunk, you could put these like so on, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and screw it down. So that's nice, and it does include some black screws to screw this down. So that's also another thing I did not know that this came with, which is good, in case the Velcro isn't cutting it for you. The level control which I'm looking forward to having level control. My other car, my Mercedes 500E, I have a Infinity Baselink T, which has a level control, which I have mounted in the dash. And I find that very convenient to be able to adjust the level of bass output depending upon what material you're listening to. If you're listening to stuff recorded in the 70s, disco, R&B, there's not a lot of bass. You may need to turn the bass up a bit. Um, Newer music, house music, R&B, hip hop already has a lot of bass in it. You may want to turn the bass down. So it's real nice to have a quick access volume knob that you can adjust the bass on the fly. Very simple design, uses a RJ11 jack, similar to a telephone cable. I don't know if it's wired up the same, but it definitely looks like a standard telephone cable. There's quite a few of it here. They don't say how much, but I'm guessing 15, 20 feet based on how much is here. And I'm assuming the screws in that bag are suitable for this to mount underneath your dash. You could probably also take this apart and remote mount this in a blank spot in your vehicle somewhere, which is probably something I might do. So that's the remote bass control. As for paperwork, you have the Boss Audio Systems Elite User Manual. This is also available directly off of Boss's website in a PDF form if you prefer that. This has some email, some contact information, support customer care, register your product, blah, blah, blah. And this is a Boss Audio Systems decal. It's white on clear. Looks like it's designed to be put on the inside of your window. And then a spare 30 amp blade fuse. So that is everything that this comes with. My initial impressions from unboxing this, this is well built from what I can tell. The choice of materials is nice. I can't fault the construction of this in any way, shape. The amplifier here, obviously, again, like I mentioned, is mounted on the left side. Some of these designs have the amplifier mounted on the back side. That's something I avoided because on the Volkswagen EOS, I've got limited trunk space and I didn't want wiring coming up and sticking out on the back side if I tried to put luggage or groceries or anything in there. I didn't want anything rubbing against the wiring. So when I wired up my EOS for a subwoofer, I've got all the wiring on the left side, which is the driver's side of the car. So I didn't want anything on the rear. There's one or two subwoofers like this on the market that have the amp on the rear. I don't remember which ones they were. But if you have a larger trunk, that may not be a problem for you. But that definitely was a concern for me when I was looking for something that would fit in the EOS. This is going to fit in between the two batteries. Batteries are mounted in the trunk on the EOS VR6, and this is going to fit in between those and fire through an opening, which is sort of like a ski bag opening that goes from the trunk into the interior of the car. And you'll see that in another video when I get to the install. So everything here is pretty much recessed. There is no cover. So once you put wiring here, there's no cover that snaps on. If I had to make a suggestion, a plastic snap-on cover that would cover this, and so all the wiring went down and out the bottom would be really great to protect this so nothing snags on it or pushes against it. The cover would have to stick out quite far, though, for RCAs, unless you had low-profile right-angle RCAs. But I've seen some amplifiers that have that feature, and that would be nice on something like this. But I haven't seen any in this design that come with that. The grills on this, standard metal grills, I have no idea if these are removable. There's no screws. It looks like they're pressure fit. This grill may fit into a slot. and it might be removable if you were to stick a pick in there and kind of pull on this and then get to the screws. I have no need to do that, so I'm not going to. But the fit and finish on this is the right side, which is blank, and then of course you saw the bottom. The fit and finish is great. The included materials are great. The price was definitely great, no doubt about that. Um, when I bought originally when I bought the Blaupunk, I didn't know about this one, or this one had not come out yet, or something. And I was looking at the Blaupunk and the JBL, and they were basically the same. The Blaupunk was less expensive, so I picked that up. Um, but unfortunately, it's a single 8 in a vented cabinet, and I'm quite disappointed with the bass output on the Blaupunk. So that's why I'm replacing it with this 10-inch Boss. I don't know much about Boss or the Boss Elite audio systems, so I'm guessing it's kind of an off-brand that's probably not a top tier like JL Audio or Infinity or Rockford, but we'll have to see how well this works out. The Infinity Baselink T that I have in my 500E is a single 10-inch sub with two 10-inch passive radiators, and I believe it has a 250 watt amplifier, and it hits quite hard. I'm quite happy with the bass output of the Baselink T. So this being a single 10 with a single passive radiator, I'm hoping that it gets close to that level of output. Probably not as much, but close. We'll see. Anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about this tabletop review. Out of the box, I'm quite happy with this. I'm happy with the price. I'm happy with the included materials. So that's going to wrap this up. Stay tuned for the installation video when I get around to installing this in the EOS. And I'll share some thoughts, and I'll do some testing, and I'll give you my final feedback on the bass output. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.